Hello, and welcome to Excel 101 for the Bloom Conference 2020. My name is Anne-Marie Yarbrough, and I am currently the Director of Social Studies, also known as the Data Nerd. At the end of this presentation, if you would like to reach out to me, my office number is 469-593-7479, and I provided my email address for you guys. Okay, so let's get started. By the end of this session, you guys will leave here exploring Excel features, basic features, learn basic Excel formulas and functions, and learn how to mail merge with Excel and Word. Okay, here's what I need for you to do. Open a web browser, preferably Chrome, if that's your preference. That's my preference. Copy and paste or click on the tiny URL. I'll give you guys just a second to capture that. It's tinyurl.com/Bloom Excel 2020. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to kind of model so that I can show you how you can download. So once you open this, it's going to give you an option, and you've got an open with, you've got add a comment, print. So what I want you to do is over in the top right hand of your screen, I want you to hit the download button, and it's going to ask you where to save. You guys save it wherever you want. I'm going to call it Bloom Modeling. Okay, so you see it's downloaded in the lower left hand of my screen. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to open. And you see now I have, it's trying to open because I have another one open. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, so what I want you to do, download and save to your computer and then open the document. So at this point, everyone should be right here. So if you notice right when you open the document, it may say that it is a protected view. So you'll have a yellow bar that says enable editing. So what I want you to do is to click that button. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to work in the actual original because there's a couple of things that I want to show you as we go through. A couple of basic information pieces that I want you to look at is, first of all, let's look at some vocabulary and let's look at some function and features of Excel. Okay, we're going to talk about the layout. First of all, Excel organizes by tabs. So if you notice at the top of my screen, I have a home tab, an insert, all the way across. Those are called tabs. And then if I click on the tab, it will present to me different ribbons. So if I click here on the home tab, I can see that I've got a clipboard, which is a group. I've got fonts, alignment, number, styles, cells, and editing. Those are all called groups within each ribbon. If I click on formula, it's going to present to me a formula ribbon. Something I want to point out to you guys on the home ribbon, or any ribbon actually, or tab, is if I click on this little button at the lower right corner of the font group, it's going to present to me different options, such as I can format my numbers. It has an alignment piece. Let's say that I want to adjust my text to make it up and down, regular, 90 degrees, so I can adjust there. I can also change the color, the font, the size. I can create a border. I can fill that specific cell, or I can add a protection. Again, I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of introduce you some of the language. So if I click up here, these are called tabs. This is the page layout ribbon, and within each ribbon there are groups. So here's all the themes, the page setup, the scale, the sheet options. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the home and I want to talk some more um, terminology. So if I click right here in column A, row 1, that is called, that is cell A1. So basically you have A all the way through to infinity. It will continue to add. Those are your columns. And then your numbers over here, and if you click on the number, it will highlight the entire row. Those are your rows. And as you're kind of playing around with this, I want you to think about a range. So if I highlight right now this group and I come over here and I say that this range is oops, sorry about that. I'm going to come over here and this is A1 because that's the very first part of this range. As you can see, column A, 1 is the very beginning. Column H, row 8, would be the end of that named. So I would say, and that would be, and I'm going to name this range data. Okay? I'll let you know more about that in a little bit. But this is called a range of cells. Okay? All right. Now, if you notice that this is called Bloom Excel 2020, this whole document is a workbook. And as you can see on the bottom, I have different worksheets. I've got an information sheet, I've got a budget summary, requisitions, and then I've got charts. And if I wanted to add additional, I would simply add new sheet. And it would give me a blank sheet. And I can continue to add if I right click. I can rename it practice. If I right click again, I can change the color and let's say that I want this to be green. I want the information sheet to be blue. I want my budget sheet to be red because I want to make sure I've got it. My requisitions, we're going to make those purple and so on. And then I'm going to show you how we can kind of work within each of these. Okay, so let's go back and let's look at the information sheet. So basically, we really kind of talked about, we've got our tabs at the top, which give us some of our functionality. And within each tab is a ribbon and then a groups within those. And then just remember the little launch button in the lower right corner will give us additional task to complete within that group. So number, alignment, font, border, fill, protection, etc. If I go over here to clipboard, I've got some additional pieces and same function and feature on the different tabs. Okay, so let's start playing. So I want to show you also some shortcuts. I'm all about a shortcut. Anything that makes my job easier is what I like to do. So if I put my cursor in, let's say, A2, you can see A2. And when you're entering data in Excel, and if I'm going to go down here to A9, and I'm going to enter information. And I hit enter. It's automatically going to take me to the next cell down. A shortcut, if I want to go up, I'm going to hit the shift key and enter, and it reverses my action. Okay, so if I hit enter in Excel and it goes down, what if I need to go over to the right and I need to enter Bugs Bunny's birthday? So I'm going to hit my tab button twice and I'm going to say that his birthday is 5/20/1949. Okay? And then, but then I'm over here and I'm in the birthday and I'm like, oh, I need to go backwards. I'm going to hit the shift tab button to go back and it will take me to the left. So just to recap, when you enter data and you hit enter, it automatically moves you down. If you press shift enter, it will reverse your action and go up. Tab will move you right. Shift tab will move your cursor left. Okay, Love those. Now, let's do some that I can't live without. So I want this information. I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to Control C. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to Control V as in Victor. But you know what? I messed up. I didn't mean to do that. So I'm going to Control Z and it undoes, or it will undo what you just did. So let's look at some of these. Control C, copy. Control V, paste. Control, I forgot about this one. I love this one. Control X is cut. Control Z is undo. So, now, do you guys notice something up here at the top? If I look and I see, I'm pretty sure if I click in A1, it says first name. Well, you can't see the name. So I'm going to put my cursor and I'm going to make like that arrow where it shows between A and B, and I'm just going to double click. And it will automatically adjust to fit the content in that section. But what if I want to do multiple? Because you can see over here where I have balance, it's not showing my numbers. So I'm going to highlight over here, and I'm going to click the H. I'm going to click the end. And I'm going to click right here. And let's see if I do this and click right here. And it will space out your spacing. You can also go to your ribbon on the home page, look at the cells, and it will allow you to adjust. So I'm going to Control Z very quickly because I want to show you a different mode. So that way we used just the cursor in between. I go up here to the format and I want to auto fit the width. So I click this and all of them will perform at the same time. Those are just some really helpful information. Let's say that look, Dora the. What am I missing? I'm missing her part of her name, right? I'm missing Explorer. So if I type in here and I just click on this cell and I start typing Explorer, what happens to the? It goes away, right? So I'm going to hit Escape because I didn't hit Enter. And I'm going to double click on that cell. And now I can go in and I can add Explorer. And it leaves my information. But see how it looks like it's now bleeding over into C6? It's not. Remember, we need to space out. So I'm going to go between B and C, double click, and it will space out exactly. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put some birthdays in. 1900. I'm going to just make up some dates. Fat Albert was born in 1932. Charlie Brown. Let's give him a May birthday. Let's do the 23rd of, 1952. And Oscar Proud, let's go in, and he was born in August 1st, 1962. Let's not 62. Let's do 68. Dora the Explorer, let's say she is December. Oops. If I go here, remember if I double click in the cell, then it will allow me to correct without erasing all of the data. So 12, we're going to give her a Christmas birthday. So, or actually, let's do December 1st. And let's do her birthday as 1998. Mickey Mouse was born in, and then I'm going to come down here and let's say January 1st, 1902. Okay? So, a couple of things that we've done. We've looked at formatting. Let's say that this sheet, which is my information sheet. So I've got all of my teacher names, their birthdays, what is their office, their room number, their home address in case I need to send them something or contact them, what their budget balance is, or what their, their budget title. I also have in here their balance, and I'm going to show you how I can get different sheets, which, remember, a sheet are the different um, sheets at the bottom. Those are called sheets, which all make up a workbook. Okay? So here's my set of data. I want to show you, I'm going to highlight this whole row. So if I put my cursor in this row, if I put it in the 2 and I click on it, it will highlight the whole row. If I click on this little triangle in the top left corner, it will highlight the whole screen. Sometimes you want to highlight the whole screen. But right now, I'm going to go to the first row, and I'm going to highlight that. And then I'm going to go to the Data tab, and I'm going to click on Filter. And if you notice, it will do a couple of things. It will give me some drop-down menus. So, first thing, before we filter, let's sort. So let's click on the arrow in the top left. The triangle in the top left. So let's sort. This one is very key. So everyone, go to your Data tab. So click on your Data tab. Go to the group on your ribbon that's called Sort and Filter, and click on the icon that says Sort. So I'm going to click on that. And this is a key component, so you got to hear this part. Do you see there's a checkbox in the right side that says My Data has headers? Click that. That will save you. So let's say that I want to sort by last name. And I'm going to add a filter, but I messed up, so I'm going to delete this filter. I want to sort by birthdays because I want to make sure that I get everyone's birthday. I want to be able to send them a card. And then I'm going to do by last name. And I sort. And as you can see, it sorted my data, right? And I'm going to move our little tricks down here because it sorted that as well. So now you can see that it didn't do it right. Hold on. Let's do this again. Oh, actually it did do it right because you see how it sorted? All right, so let's get rid of birthday and let's sort by last name first. Now you can see that it's put it in alphabetical order. Let's say that, so we've got that information. That's filtering and sorting. So let's say that that's using your sort button. So now let's filter. I need to go to G1 and I'm going to click on the arrow. I want to know, and I want anything less than $2,000. So I see that Bugs Bunny, out of all of those, has a balance in his budget that is less than $2,000. So I can filter. If I want to get it back, I click on the filter button. I select all, and it's back. Okay? So a couple of things. We have looked at filtering, sorting, formatting, knowing kind of the layout. These are some of our here's another thing. So here are some of our shortcuts, right? So if I come up here and I go to the font and I see this one, I really need this to have like some lines to it. But then I'm going to give this a title. So I'm going to merge and center, and I'm going to call this shortcuts. And I'm going to give it a little bit, and I'm going to give it some color. Let's say that today my shortcuts are going to be purple. Okay? Now, let's talk about, so I'm going to unclick. I'm going to highlight row 1. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click filter again, and that's going to get rid of my filters. Because something that I want to show you now is I want to show you how to do a sum, how to add a column. So if I want to know how much total budget is remaining for all of my departments, I'm going to come to G9. I am going to go to the Formula tab, and I like to use the auto sums or the auto features. And I'm going to click on sum. And you see it's highlighting G2 to G8. And I'm going to go ahead and press enter. And now it tells me that my overall department budget or campus budget is $64,025.34. Now, I want to show you how this screen will talk to my regular screen. So, this is the information sheet. I'm going to click over to my budget sheet. And as you can see, this is how I like to do my budget. This is how we kind of run. These are just made up numbers. So, but what I do, you enter your planning amount for your total budget. This one is a formula which basically calculates the actual budget and the remaining budgets, the actual remaining pieces. And then it shows you here where there's a discrepancy or what your actual budget is. So if I go over to this one, again, you'll see here's the planning amount, how much I've spent to date. Of course, this is a pretend one because this is from 2017. And then you can see that it gives me my current balance. What's really great about this, and I want to show you, so let's look at ETR. So let's look at Fat Albert. Do you see that on my information sheet, it shows that he has a balance of $20,000. So I'm going to come over here and I notice if I find, hold on, let me see. P9 is $20,000. So you see it's picking up this. So if I come over here and I put in here 10, 30, 20, Bloom Conference Supplies, and I put in the code ETR, and the vendor is Staples, and I'm going to put in $12,000. And the requisition number is, I don't know, 48111, and the DPR 4444. Okay? So, if you notice up here, my amount changed by $12,000. I want to come over here and remember, oh, I did the wrong one. Hold on. This should be other. Okay, if I come back over here, you'll notice that I typed in, and Fat Albert should actually be, yep. He is other, ETR is his. So you notice that he went from 20,000 to 8,000. So how this works is, this column that's fund is, it matches the exact that is here in the description. And so it is connected to all three sheets. So when you set up your budget, whatever you put as your description, that is the piece that when you're doing the fund, that has to match. So if I want money to come out of subpay, I need to make sure that when I enter my requisition, I put in subpay. So let's look at subpay. So I've got a remaining balance of $48,000. This was my original amount. And let's see who subpay is over here. So Charlie Brown has, it shows, why? Subpay. Oh, you know what? Subpay should be So that's a great one. So you see that Charlie Brown is subpay. So I want you to go to the column G3, and I want you to put in an equal sign. And then I want you to go to the summary sheet, and I want you to click in subpay, click right there, and you'll see the highlighting, and press enter. And now you see that it brings over the amount. So now when I go to my requisition and I put in 10, 30, 20, and I put in sub pay, or I put in teachers sub, I put in sub pay, I put in George Washington, I put in $115. Again, you see that my balance is changing here. And if I come over here, you'll see that the $115 has been deducted from the subpay. And if I also come over here, you'll see that it has deducted here. So anytime that you want a cell to speak to another cell so that you keep it consistent, you go and you put your cursor there, you enter the equal sign. Bugs Bunny is tutoring, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find tutoring. I'm going to click this and I'm going to hit enter. If I go to food, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to find my food, hit enter. Travel for Oscar Proud. Let's see. Come over here. Let's find travel right there. If I go to other ETRs, again, other ETRs right here, and you see that it updates this balance. Remember over here when we have the amount remaining, this is showing you the amount remaining in your budget, what you have left, which is a total of the planning amount and then the budget, okay? And you can see that everywhere our current balance, so expenditures to date is $24,000. You can see over here, something's not calculating. Sum of F8, oh, I see, to F132. Let's see, that should be picking up. So somewhere my formulas are off, but the point is that you enter your information, and when you have things like in this column, you're never going to want to type in the column where your formula is unless you're setting up a formula. Okay, so what we've done and what I've kind of showed you so far is I've shown you the basic vocabulary. You've got your layout, your tabs, your ribbon, your groups, your launch buttons, which means more options. You've got your columns, your cells, your range. You've got a worksheet. So in this worksheet, I have information sheet, summary sheet, requisitions. I also have shortcuts. If I want to go down, obviously going down, I'm going to enter. If I want to go up, shift enter. If I want to go right, tab. If I want to go left, shift tab. Oops. Do you see how I made that? Remember that shortcut? Control Z puts it back. Okay. So I have this. We've entered in a sum. I like using the formulas. And I just simply do this. Okay. I have the date. So if you notice right here, this date is coming from requisitions. And if I go over here and it shows requisition G5, so if I go to requisition and I find G and I go to 5, you see that it's pulling in the date, the current date that it was updated. Okay, so let's look at a quick table. So again, here are some, if I want a visual, because either my supervisor says, I need to see this. I need to see this in action. So it's pulling in tutoring, subpay, other, and it's pulling it from, let's see, it's pulling us from the summary sheet P7. Okay, so my tutoring P7 should be right here. And remember, so if I go in and I put a requisition, let's just see, and I'm going to put 10, 30, 20, I'm going to put Saturday tutoring teachers, and I'm going to put $2,000. So you see, again, this is changing. This is changing. And now this has changed. It went from 3,000 to 1,000. And if I go to my information sheet and I find tutoring, you'll see that Bugs Bunny is now down to $1,000. So let's make a chart. So I'm going to highlight all of it. And I'm going to go to my Insert tab, and I'm going to go to Charts. And I'm going to click my arrow, and I'm going to look at all. I think for my supervisor, I think it would be helpful for the team or my principal or my supervisor to see the breakdown by departments. So you can click anything. If I want to click this, it will give me actual amount. It will give me the breakdown by departments, by if I right click on it. What I love is if you come over to the chart elements, you click on it, and it's going to give you some options. For some reason today it's not wanting to do options, but that's okay. You guys can play with it. Hopefully it's working for you. And then when you're finished, you can escape. So if I also want to go in, I'm going to insert, and let's do a bar graph, and it will change it. You see? So you can click, put in a pie graph, a bar chart, anything up here, and it gives you that information. The key piece is getting your sheets to talk to each other and making sure your formulas are set. So if I come up here and I look at my planning amount, which is probably where I'm off, and my requisition amount, this is my expenditures to date. So it's basically calculating everything here, and it's speaking to the summary sheet. So if your supervisor comes in and says, I really need to know what my balance is, because, sometimes in our old system, our balance, it needed a minute to catch up. And so I always work with my exec, and we keep my budget in one that looks like this, because I want to know how much I have in 6100, in 6200, because honestly, for me, when you get your budget printout from the old system and it was all just numbers and you needed to know what function and benefit, this is just an easy way for me to keep up with my budget. So let's see, if I want to come over here and I want to know how many teachers I have, but I don't want to count them. Okay? I'm going to come to I1, and I'm going to put an equal sign, and I'm going to put subtotal. I'm going to put a parentheses, and I'm going to count B2 through B8. And so what I'm counting, and I didn't put my formula in correctly, so I'm going to count A, and I'm going to hit enter. So if I come over here, what it's counting, so you can see my screen right here, I'm subtotaling 3, and that function is basically anything that is not blank, B2 to B8. But watch, if I come over here and I drag down and I get rid of that, and I come over here and let's say that I do B100. It's now given me 12, because now there are 12 cells in which there is data. Let's say that I want to, instead of counting the cells, let's say that I want to do a sum. It's going to give me a value because there's no data. However, if I come over here and I change this to F instead of B, and I change this to F, oh, sorry, I need to change it to G, and I do a 9, and I press enter, it's going to give me a balance of the total, so it's going to calculate it. So it's even calculating the total balance of the sum, because remember this was the sum. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, just a quick, first of all, thank you for coming to my Excel 101. I know today has been fast and furious, but I want you to play with this. I want you to click around and see where there is, you really don't want to erase where there's formulas, because that kind of messes up things. But I want you guys, I'm going to go back to the presentation, and I just want you to remember, my name is Anne-Marie Yarbrough. I am the data nerd. I love Excel. If you have any questions or concerns or ever want to talk or you want to know some additional features, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I am more than happy to share with you my Excel knowledge and love. Hope you have a great day. Hope this was beneficial. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Don't forget, go to tinyurl.com, Bloom Excel 2020, and play away. Hope you guys have a great election day.